Alright, hello everybody. I have a value chart 1 through 9. 1 having nothing, 9 being the darkest. 2 through 5 was used in HB, 6 through 9 is a 6B pencil. So what I did was I took value 6 and I'm creating a shaded bar here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that up to little sections, and then I'm going to glue that so I can see what a value 6 looks on the background of 1 and what value 6 looks against a 9. Now as you noticed, value 6 on 1 looks darker, and then as it goes towards 9 it eventually looks lighter. So keep this in mind as you go through your drawings. Alright, shading and value. What I'm using is a compass. You're more than welcome to get one from the back of the room in the ruler's bin. And what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that a light is coming down, hitting it right there. And that little circle that I just put in is a highlights. So there will be no shading there. Now as you can see, I'm beginning to shade the rest of the ball, and so what I've done is I've marked off about halfway where the fattest point of the ball is. Now once the light comes down, once it hits that fattest point and the ball starts to curve back around, what happens is the light doesn't hit there. So that becomes your darkest point because that part of the ball is facing you. Now the top part of the ball, where the main light hits it, it starts to fade away in shadow. But right below that, you've got the darkest point that I'm starting to fill in, and then below that, it'll be moderately dark, but there will be some light reflecting off the table, as you can see with the arrows. So as that light comes down, it bounces off the table and gives some light to the bottom part. But the darkest part is right where the absolute darkest part is right where the shadow and the bottom of the ball hit. So once I begin to fill in the shadows, there's based off of how soft or how harsh your lighting is, there's normally 3 different values to a shadow. You have the darkest part, which is right underneath the ball. Then as it goes out a little bit, you have your medium tones, and then as it goes out, you have your lighter tones where it gets softer. Now you can use a shading stump or a blending tool, but a shading stump or a blending tool sometimes gets overused and becomes too soft. So I'm going to challenge you not to use those. Now this is just a base. I'm going to show you how to how I draw my finger, and I'm taking the same concepts of the value chart 1 through 9 and also incorporating how light hits the ball and trying to create that 3-dimensional. So if you can create the ball and if you can create the value chart very nicely, then you should be able to draw anything. Alright, now I'm starting to I've got my darkest value in. Now I'm coming in with my medium values for the shadow. And then I'll move out to the light values. And you can go back through and clean it up with an eraser. Whatever you need to do. Now, H stands for hardness. If you have a 1 hard, then what happens is they're simply mixing clay in with the graphite to create it to be hard. And 8 hard is harder than 1 hard, so you'll get a lighter line. Now B stands for blackness, and just seeing how much dark you can get out of that. So 1B is lighter than an 8B. Alright, so now I'm taking the same concepts, the same theories of using 1 through 9 value chart and keeping in mind that whenever I put a 6 value behind a 1, that it appears darker than what a 9 value would be. And so I'm also taking the idea of how light hits the ball and I'm applying that to my fingers. So you see right in the middle is where the light is hitting it, and everything behind that becomes darker. Now I'm adding in the background because the shadows is being cast on my other finger, but at that same point I'd gotten those shadows just a little darker, and I knew if I added that back shadow that everything would be perfect. So